This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Friday, June 19, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Dollar-yen is trading at 161.351, near its highest level since 1986, as Fed policy divergence intensifies. Leveraged funds are showing strong yen longs, with net plus 112 contracts. Fear and greed is at 14/100. Investors are favoring safe haven assets, and the VIX is holding steady at 18.44. Let's start with the performance reviews. Pulse, your call on cable was bearish, but the price stayed flat. You had a 47% accuracy rate.
I'll take that. I focused on the broader dollar strength, and the cable didn't move much. I'll adjust to look for clearer momentum signals this time.
Grid, you also called bearish on cable. Market was flat. You're at 45% accuracy.
I still think the cable is vulnerable, but I need to be more patient. I'll wait for a clearer breakdown below 1.31865 before committing.
CIPHER, your call was bearish on cable, but it was flat. You're at 45% accuracy, 25/182.
I've been overcomplicating the technicals. I'll focus on flows and positioning more this time and avoid overextending on weak signals.
SPECTER, you were right at 50% accuracy. You called cable bearish and it was flat. You're at 39/183.
I'll keep pushing the bearish case, but I'll be more cautious about overreaching. I'm not going to let the flat price derail my strategy.
Apex, you were at 48% accuracy, 33/185.
I'll refine my focus on the broader macro context and the positioning data. I can't keep missing the mark on the technicals.
Let's break down the market story. The dollar is strong, with dollar-yen near 161.351, up 0.3% on Friday. CFTC data shows leveraged funds are long yen by plus 112 contracts, which is a significant move. Fear and greed is at 14/100, indicating a strong risk-off bias, and the VIX is at 18.44, no immediate volatility spikes. The 10-year 2-year spread is flat at 0.27 pp, suggesting no immediate rate cut expectations. The DXY is at 119.51, down minus 0.61% week over week. Let's start with the FX market context. SPECTER, what's your take on the risk-off sentiment?
The fear and greed at 14/100 is a clear sign that investors are fleeing risk. The dollar is getting a boost from that, and the VIX is holding at 18.44. There's a lot of upside potential for volatility if the dollar continues to strengthen.
Pulse, how does the macro sentiment play into this?
The Fed's policy uncertainty is the key driver here. The yield curve is flat, and the 10-year 2-year is at 0.27 pp. That's not a strong signal for rate cuts. The dollar is being supported by the divergence with the Bank of Japan and the Bank of England, which is still on hold. The market is pricing in a hawkish Fed, which is why the dollar is holding up.
Let's dive into the dollar-yen. Grid, what's your technical read?
Dollar-yen is at 161.351, near the 5-day high of 161.81. That's a critical resistance level. If the pair can break above 161.81, we could see a retest of 163. But the 5-day low is at 159.885. If we break below that, it could be a strong bearish signal. The CFTC data shows leveraged funds are long yen by 112 contracts, which is a bit of a red flag for a short-term pullback.
CIPHER, what's the flow perspective on this?
Leveraged funds are showing a strong bullish bias on yen, which is a bit of a contradiction. The DXY is at 119.51, and the dollar is still holding up. The positioning data is mixed. We have yen longs from leveraged funds, but the broader dollar strength is being supported by the Fed's policy divergence. It's a bit of a tug-of-war, but I'm leaning bearish on dollar-yen for the short term.
SPECTER, you're on the contrarian side. How do you see this?
I think the dollar is overbought. The VIX is at 18.44, but the 5-day range is 15.77 to 22.59. That's a wide range. If the dollar continues to strengthen, we could see a sharp pullback. I'm not fully bullish on dollar-yen. I think the yen longs are too aggressive, and the dollar is showing signs of fatigue.
Apex, what's your synthesis?
Grid noted the technical resistance at 161.81, and CIPHER highlighted the leveraged fund positioning. SPECTER is flagging the overbought nature of the dollar. It's a mix of signals. The dollar is strong, but the technicals and flows suggest a potential correction. I'd watch for a retest of 160 as a key level.
Let's move to euro-dollar. Grid, what's the technical read?
Euro-dollar is at 1.14422 near the 5-day high of 1.16221. That's a key resistance level. The 5-day low is at 1.14416, so if we break below that, it could be a bearish signal. The technicals are a bit mixed. The pair is holding above the key support, but the resistance is still a concern.
SPECTER, what's your take on the risk?
The VIX is at 18.44, and the 5-day range is 15.77 to 22.59. That's a wide range. The euro is vulnerable to a retest of 1.135, which is a key support level. I think the euro-dollar is under pressure, especially with the dollar's strength. If the euro can't break above 1.14422, it could be a sign of weakness.
Pulse, how does the sentiment play into this?
The fear and greed is at 14/100, and the VIX is at 18.44. That's a strong risk-off bias. The dollar is being supported by that, which is pressuring the euro. The 10-year, 2-year spread is flat at 0.27 pp, which is a sign that the Fed is still on hold. The euro is vulnerable to a retest of 1.135 if the dollar continues to strengthen.
CIPHER, what's the flow perspective?
Leveraged funds are showing a mixed positioning. They're bullish on euro-dollar, but the flows are still in the dollar. The DXY is at 119.51 and the dollar is holding up. The positioning data suggests that the dollar is still the safer bet in this environment.
Apex, what's your take?
Grid highlighted the resistance at 1.16221, and SPECTER is flagging the 1.135 support. CIPHER noted the dollar's strength. It's a mix of signals. The euro is being pressured, but the resistance is still in play. I'll watch for a break below 1.14416 as a key trigger.
SPECTER, you pushed back on Grid read on dollar-yen. Let's dig into that.
Grid thinks the dollar-yen is in a consolidation phase, but the CFTC data shows leveraged funds are long yen by 112 contracts. That's a lot. The dollar is overbought, and the yen longs are a sign that the pair could see a short-term pullback. I think the bearish case is stronger than Grid is giving it credit for.
I understand the concern, but the technicals suggest we're in a consolidation phase. The 5-day range is 159.885 to 161.81, and we're right in the middle. The leverage data is a signal, but it's not a guarantee of a pullback. The dollar is still showing strength, and the 161.81 level is a key resistance. I think we're more likely to see a breakout than a correction.
I'm with Grid on this. The CFTC data is a signal, but it's not a full picture. The dollar is still being supported by the Fed's policy divergence. If the dollar continues to hold, the yen longs could be a short-term overreaction.
My 24-hour call. Dollar-yen bearish. Target 160.9885 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 160 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 159.5 by next session.
My 24-hour call, euro-dollar bearish, target 1.135 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 159.88 by next session.
The consensus is that dollar-yen is under pressure, with multiple voices targeting a retest of 160 or lower. Euro-dollar is also under bearish pressure, especially with the dollar's strength. Watch for the BOE rate decision and any volatility spikes in the dollar. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.